Most men over 40 think that transforming their body all comes down to training the shoulders, the chest, the arms, and the back to build that really strong V taper. But what if I told you that one of the most important ingredients is training your glutes? Yes, training your glutes has completely transformed my physique and countless others. And when it comes to making sure you have the physique that you want, you avoid that knee, lower back pain, and a whole host of other injuries, glute training is one of the pieces to the secret recipe to looking and feeling your best. So on today's video, I want to show you why training glutes has transformed most of the guys over 40 that I coach, as well as my physique over the past few years. Now, having a strong pair of glute muscles isn't just about looking better in a pair of dress pants or whatever slacks you wear. Glutes are actually the foundation of a strong and athletic physique. Strong glutes do 4 key things for the guys that I work with. And by the way, if you want to see an entire system for how I take guys over 40 from feeling frustrated when it comes to belly fat, not being sure of the exact system they should follow, because let's face it, there's a ton of information out there and there can be a massive amount of information overload. I put together a whole ripped body blueprint. It will take you from A to Z for guys over 40 who want to lose the belly fat, feel better in their own skin, and ultimately just build a physique that will stand the test of time. If you want a free copy of it, I'll send it to you for free. Just comment the word ripped below this video and I'll break down the entire system. Now, the first thing that glutes do is they provide support for your lower back and posture. A lot of guys I talk to complain of lower back pain, and that's because there's a weak link in the posterior chain. The posterior chain is all the muscle groups in the back of your body, the ones you really can't see. If you have weak glutes that never get trained, or if they do get trained, you're not really providing a lot of resistance, there's a lot of muscle atrophy, meaning they're no longer there. Like, you don't have any glute muscle mass. Well, things start to have to compensate because of that. And so the lower back, which is really not designed to handle a huge amount of load, start to take on way more than it can handle. And that's where the lower back pain comes into play. Then one of the first things that's going to happen is your posture starts to suffer. Now, obviously, there's more than just glutes involved with posture, including how we train our shoulders and upper back. But I see guys all the time who just don't have any glute development or heck, any weird development whatsoever. Their posterior chain is lacking on all fronts. Their posture really suffers too. Now, we're going to talk through some of my favorite glute exercises here in a minute, ones that I think will absolutely transform the back of your body. But the second thing that glutes do for most guys is it keeps you athletic. In other words, it helps you stay young, right? Because as a dad, one of the things I want to be able to do as my kids get older is run around with them, get active with them, do physical challenges with them. And guess what? Where does my athletic power come from? Well, it typically comes, or at least starts from, the glute muscles. Are the hamstrings involved? Of course. Calves, quads. Is my whole entire body involved in my athleticism? Yes, of course. But I can promise you this, athletes, especially top-level athletes, have powerful glute strength and development. But heck, even if you're not trying to do crazy athletic feats, just walking up the stairs, getting up off the couch, moving around in your day-to-day requires your glutes to actually work. So we got to train them. Now let's talk about the third thing that glutes do. Now, this could be a little bit of bro science, so bear with me here. I will say this. I do think that having some compound glute training in your regimen will influence your hormonal health. Do I think that training glutes directly boosts your testosterone? I mean, there might be some downstream effect from training glutes, but I think the overall message here is we got to build a body that is high testosterone worthy, right? So in other words, we need to train compound lifts, we need to train heavy, we need to train consistent, and we need to build the strongest muscles in the body, which at the top of the list is, yes, the glutes. Now, the fourth thing that glutes do, which most guys don't even think about, is just the aesthetic of your body. I mean, I know the world is obsessed with the female glute. I mean, just look at the past 5 to 10 years, maybe even longer than that. Big glutes are in for sure. At the end of the day, though, it's not just for women. Guys who have a strong pair of glutes, and I know, I'm sorry, guys, it's kind of funny to be talking about glute development, but if you want to see someone who trains, if you want to have just that appearance of looking like you work out, then the glutes matter. Glutes fill out your pants. Glutes just give that powerful lower body look. And I'm not talking about building like steroid level glute development here. I'm just talking about someone who clearly is an athlete. And once again, you just have to see the before and after to know what I'm talking about, right? Guys who didn't train their glutes and then guys who do, clearly a difference. and just your overall appearance and your overall confidence level. Now I'm going to show you some of my favorite glute exercises, and we're going to start with just the good old-fashioned hip thrust. Now, there's some really cool machines these days you can find at a lot of gyms that don't require this barbell setup that I'm doing here in my home gym. But if you get yourself one of these nice little pads here, you can set up your own hip thrust as long as you have a barbell. Heck, you can even do it with a dumbbell. I'm just, for the sake of this video, I'm going to show you with a barbell. Now, we're going to have to roll this thing into my hip area. Biggest thing with the glute hip thrust is we want to make sure we start with our feet flat on the floor. All right. Now, all we're trying to do is literally thrust our hips and squeeze our glutes, keeping our feet flat. Now, that's doing the hip thrust on the floor. Now, you can absolutely do this on a bench, which I'll demonstrate here momentarily. Okay, now the hip thrust with the bench is the more popular version. This is one that you can really start to add some significant weight to the bar. And once again, we're talking about progressive overload. So we do want to get stronger when it comes to our glute training. So similar setup with the barbell. Just going to roll this thing onto my hips. So we just want our upper back to be on the bench, driving our hips forward, down. And that's the barbell hip thrust. Now, once again, you can do this with a dumbbell if that's all you have, or you can check out the next exercise, which is also a staple in my glute training. Now, this one happens to be my personal glute training favorite. And this is just because for me, there's a lot of mind to muscle connection. This is the dumbbell Romanian deadlift. All we're trying to do here is drive our glutes back and squeeze up, keeping the knees just slightly ever so bent. Feel the stretch in the hamstrings. Squeeze the glutes at the top. That's the Romanian deadlift, one that you can significantly get stronger on, especially if you do the barbell version versus the dumbbell version. Now, obviously, training is just one piece of the puzzle. If you're trying to transform your entire physique and you want to get in the shape you've always pictured yourself being in, but because of work stress, lack of accountability, and overwhelm of information, and just life, right? Life just starts to happen, and next thing you know, you look in the mirror and you're like, how did I get here? Or maybe you've lost the same 10 to 20 pounds over and over and over again, and now every year the scale keeps getting higher. Well, the good news is it's not too late. I have worked with guys since 2004, so that's going on 21 years now, and I've put together most of the little tricks of the trade in a guide that is jam-packed with a ton of value and other videos that will get you closer to your goal. If you comment the word RIFT below this video, I will send it to you, and it breaks down as much as I can possibly put in one guide to get you from point A to Z. And my only hope is when you're ready for real accountability and you want a team in your corner and a community around you to make sure you have the support you need, then, and only then, you'll check out our True Transformation Program, which, by the way, I linked in the description of this video below in case you want to check it out now and you're ready to have a conversation. Schedule an action plan building call. It's not a sales call. It's just us, you and me, and potentially one of my team members building out your action plan so that you get value before you decide to jump into our full-blown coaching system. If you want to check that out, links in the bio. Let's talk about the next exercise that, honestly, is everybody's least favorite, but man, it crushes the glutes. Okay, so now we're doing Bulgarian split squats. Okay, now this is everybody's least favorite, but man, it absolutely smashes the glutes. Big thing here is we want to lean forward and really drive that glute back. So when we come down, the glute's doing a lot of the work. Now, if you struggle with balance on this, you can hold on to something and just do one arm at a time, which is also a great exercise. I mean, hey, you don't need to do both arms at the same time if you can't balance. Work on one at a time. You can feel that glute activate right here, and then we're driving up. This one gets pretty gnarly pretty quick, so start slow here, but this one can quickly build a lot of glute power and size. I'm going to throw a new one at you. I love the exercise that's called Good Mornings, but typically That's done with a barbell on your back. And I'm trying to make this as user-friendly as possible. Some of you may not be prepared for that, nor do you want to do it, right? So what we're going to do instead is a goblet good morning. Okay, we're going to have the dumbbell at a goblet position, which is here. And what we're going to try to do is just push our butt back like we were doing a Romanian deadlift, but the weight is up here, okay? So it's closer to our chest. We're going to go back, and we're just going to come back up. So push the butt back, keeping those legs nice and straight. Here. Now, if you want to do the barbell version, I strongly recommend it if your lower back can handle it, but just got to be careful. The last thing we want is an injury to throw us out of the game. So just be careful. Start with maybe just the barbell, but the good morning, man, it's one of my favorite glute building exercises. Now, glute training has the power to change your physique and change your overall fitness, help you avoid injuries, help you look more like an athlete, and as you lose fat, really help you sculpt a physique that you can be super, super proud of. So if you want the whole entire system, I put together a very, very in-depth program and document for you. It's yours free. Comment the word ripped on this video, and let me know what questions you have in the comments about glute training. If you're not already a part of this channel, consider hitting the follow button and just liking this video if this one was helpful. Or leave me a comment and let me know what you want to see in the next one. I answer every single comment. I get back to everybody, and I try to get to the videos that you guys request. So I appreciate you being here. Life moves fast. Make it count. I'll talk to you in the next one. See you soon. Peace.